from what I believe, then there is a part of you that is directly opposed to a part of me, right? There's a little piece of you that cannot exist in simultaneous reality with that little part of me. One of us must live. One of us must die. That's the next thing. For that part of me to live, that part of you must die. And so we start by talking. We start by engaging this particular issue, where I will tell you why your belief is wrong, and then of course that will get personal, and then you will tell me why my belief is wrong. But the only way for that part of me to live is for that part of you to die. And then ultimately, we reach that point where I realize that part of you is not going to die. So the only way for that part of you to die is for you to die. Sometimes this escalates all the way into actual murder. But I would say this: every single time we have an angry relationship with someone, every single time we are in attack mode, denial mode, or defensive behavior or evasive behavior where we just simply avoid the person, every time we're in one of these modes, that is death. Because the relationship that you and I share is severed once I enter those modes. Once I enter the attack mode, my relationship with you has now been severed. And as far as it goes, you're dead to me because I'm attacking you, okay? And then once we get into the issue of me saying, well, I just can't be near you, I just have to leave. Well, what you're doing there is you're saying, you're dead to me. Or even if I were to say something along the lines of, you're an idiot, then I have just simply declared that there is something wrong with you that validates me treating you like you're dead. Are you following me on this? This is the flow of conflict, and it's how conflict works, and it's something that we have to realize because at some point along this road, we have to stop it. At some point along this road, we have to intervene. We certainly can't change some of our beliefs, because if our beliefs are in the truth, we're not going to change those things. Just this last week, many of you know that I maintain a blog, and I allow myself to get a little bit provocative on the blog that I write. And so there was a particular movie that came out not too long ago called For the Bible Tells Me So, and it's a movie based upon a few families who are trying to be both Christian and welcoming to their homosexual children. And so this movie is sort of walking through this journey with them, and the undertone is that the only reason someone would even be opposed to this particular kind of lifestyle is that the Bible is simply being taken out of context at face value, literally something along those lines. Anyway, I felt that the movie misrepresented the teaching of the Bible. And so I wrote an article on my blog, and then I got a comment just this last week from some guy who was accusing me of misrepresenting the movie. I'm fine with that. That's what a lot of people use blogs for. It's basically to debate faceless individuals over the internet, just so that you can engage your brain and maybe irritate someone. And so I'm okay with people getting onto my blog and telling me I'm an idiot. I'm sort of okay with that. But he did that kind of stuff, and it was this repeated attack, personal attack kind of stuff. And one of the things he said was, and believe me, I have never been to your church unless given a personal invitation with a guarantee that I will not be berated. Whoa there. A guarantee that I will not be berated, then I never will. So I wrote him an email. I said, okay, I am personally inviting you, and I guarantee you I will not berate you. So if he came today, I really want to talk to you afterwards, and I don't think you're an idiot. Okay, moving right along. I was in this conflict kind of thing, and it really brought this kind of sense to me, once again, that it's very quickly that we take the thing from a belief to attack when we recognize the belief is not going to change. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share with you some things that hopefully give you a higher belief. Okay, track with me on this. Our conflict is based on a belief difference. Today, I want to give you a higher belief framework, something that you can go up to when you have a conflict down here. so that your identity is not threatened here, that you can go up a level on the ladder and then say, okay, up here we can agree. Up here we're safe. Okay, so in order to do that, I have to flood you with the Bible. And so here's a couple things. Look at Matthew chapter 5:22. It's the first note right there on your note sheet. Jesus says, I tell you that anyone who's angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell. Right there, Jesus is saying, if you're in a situation of conflict and you take that next level, if you go that next step to accuse the other person of being less than human, you yourself are in danger of hell. Now, that is a very big warning. And I want to make sure that sinks in with you. According to Jesus, you and I never have the right to, in anger, declare someone else an idiot, or call them a fool, or tell them that something is wrong with them as an individual. That is hell-worthy. Follow me on this? If any of you have ever been in a marriage relationship with arguments, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your marriage becomes a living hell, and Jesus says you are in danger of something far worse in the future. All I can tell you is it's got to be cut right out from the get-go. But let's go ahead and deal with a couple more verses. Basically what I want to do is I want to share with you, first of all, why conflict is such a tragedy, and then tell you how agreement has such power, and then finally give you some tools how to move from one to the other. Okay, so here's the first one. Conflict is a tragedy because it tears the fabric of the Holy Spirit. Conflict tears the fabric of the Holy Spirit. I'm using fabric as a metaphorical kind of word here. It tears the identity, the existence of the Holy Spirit. I will show you a couple verses here. First of all, from Ephesians, we read this. Paul says, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. In other words, in order to maintain the unity of the Spirit, you and I must be at peace. There's one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. Now let's move on. Let's do the next one. 1 Corinthians 12 says, for we were all baptized by one Spirit into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. One Spirit, we've all shared this same Spirit. One more. 1 John 3. And this is his command, to believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and to love one another as he commanded us. Those who obey his commands live in him, and he in them. And this is how we know that he lives in us. We know it by the Spirit he